Hello, hello, howdy, welcome. I would certainly hope, marvelous Mr. Pokemon, that if you see Pokemon, you cometh. It'd be a little bit weird if you were like, nah. Welcome, howdy, come on in. So, we're gonna do the thing I talked about, where we're gonna look at Pokemon gym leaders and allocate them to a region. I've got just a handful here. You know, I've got our starting 3, just so we can kind of like ease in, and then from there I'll be copying and pasting them in as we move forward. But I suppose we can bum around for a second. Here, I'll allocate these for right now. And also, I'm gonna say this: I am no expert. I am not doing research. I am just going off of what I already know. To be honest, I have a couple times, but I've been too exhausted at those times. That's okay. Sometimes sleep do be doing like that. But like, Brock and Misty, so we're in Kanto currently. And I have no reason to assume that they are from any region other than the one that we meet them in. So I will put them into Kanto. Wow. And then I'm also gonna fuse their layers together so I don't forget about that. However, hello, welcome. Lieutenant Surge, our Lightning American, now Lightning Lieutenant. Unova is based off of America, so we're gonna put him into Unova. That's the premise of the stream. Just allocating. I feel like there's no good reason to really wander across these top couple. You know, with Kanto, Johto, and Hoenn and Sinnoh. Because they are all based on Japan. I see no reason to, like, for example, Erica. We'll grab Erica, because she is next. I'm going in order. Erica is, you know, still in Kanto. That's where we encounter her. And I see no good reason to assume, well, what if she's from a different Japan-themed region? Just because they're all based on Japan, and I feel like we'd be splitting hairs unless we have, like a good canon reason. Like, oh, we could argue her kimono and stuff is, you know, evocative of the kimono girls and such from Johto, and that's true, but also, like, they can also easily wear kimonos in Kanto. So up here is gonna get a little hugity spugity, a little messy. We might run out of room. We might already be aching for room. I'm gonna make the gym leaders' heads all a little bit smaller. Great. And now let me scoot Surge down a little. Alright. So how's that sound? Sound great? We're not gonna go, they look Asian, we put them in the Asian ones, because that's single-minded. That is closed-minded. Misty can just live in, this is fucking anime, you know? No one has purple hair, but we have plenty of purple hair gals and boys. So we're not rolling with stereotypes. We're rolling with what the game tells us. Okay? We're rolling with, like, oh, a culture is being represented, and not, oh, she's got red hair, so that means she can't be from Kanto. You know what I'm saying? I was told somewhere that she tried to be a kimono girl, but the validity of that was questionable. That sounds like anime shenanigans. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Misty fiddle-dee-deed around with the idea of being a kimono girl in the anime, but it's been a long time, so I can't say that with confidence. I'm collecting Koga right now, who is, his head's a little small, hang on, I'm gonna make him a bit bigger. He's also, you know, a Kanto. Same with his daughter, Janine. And see, that's the big thing that I was concerned about with this. I'm like, I hope this isn't boring. Because it's a lot of putting people in the region that we do just encounter them in, I feel like. Fuck, I'm running out of room. I really did not give myself enough room. Oh my! Who is it? It's Cereza! Thank you, Cereza! I made the howdy as loud as it can be. I don't know if it's loud enough still. Welcome! Come on in! I appreciate you being here. In fairness, Celadon and Goldenrod is literally a train ride away. That is true. Didn't hear the howdy. I think my music might be louder than the howdy, and they're all on the same audio track, and that might be the problem. Here, I'll mute my music, and I'll turn up the desktop audio, and if someone wants to follow me real quick, you might hear the howdy. Howdy! That was as loud as it's gonna be. Let me turn that back down. There you go, that's the howdy. Are you bullying my cat? What'd you do? Did you sit upon him? Oh, Allison's abusing my animal. Next up is Sabrina. I'm gonna be honest, this will be more exciting when we get deeper in. I feel like Kanto especially is kinda aching for interesting, region variations. Where in the fucking shit where's Sabrina? Give me her. Give me Sabrina. There she is. There's our psychic magician with a weird background. Allison the bullier. Forgot what the fuck Paldea was. That's the latest one. Yeah. That's where Scarlet and Violet is. Shifted the whole world around. Alright, cool. I might make the head smaller again. I don't know. We'll just keep moving forward. We're just gonna do gym leaders for right now, just because I'd have to open up a different menu to get to the, to the Elite Four. If anyone has any good, like, twins, in the manga, they say that character is from Plaays. You know, don't be afraid to speak up. Will we be counting the DLC locations? Isle of Armor, Blueberry Disc, etc.? No, because they're still just the same region. The Isle of Armor is... Actually, I'm not sure about the Isle of Armor specifically, because I didn't do that DLC. But, like, the Blueberry Disc, it's just part of Unova. So, we might look at those characters, but they're still just... It's still just Unova as a location. And for, like, other regions outside of the main games, for example, there's, like, the Sevi Islands in the anime. Question mark? We're gonna, be disregarding those as well. Blue and Giovanni will wrap up Kanto for us. Ugh, Blue looking like a toddler. I'm just grabbing the first image on Bulbapedia for everyone, by the way. I remember when the name Paldea was leaked and everyone was so sure it was fake because it had too many syllables. It does have a decent amount of syllables. Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova, that one's another one with 3. Alola, that one has 3. Kalos, Paldea, Galar. So it seems to be 2 to 3 syllable regions. I'm doing all the gym leaders first, and then we'll do the Elite Four. Blue shows up because he's technically a gym leader. but we'll be going through the gym leaders first, and then be coming back. Golly, there's a part of me that is worried this will just become Twiins makes like a graphic while chatting at you guys. You guys seem to like it when I chit chat though. I can't fathom you all. I'll be like, this will be great, and it'll be like fine enough, and then I'll be like, this next stream idea I have is so boring, and you guys will eat it up, slurp it up like little spaghettis. Chad Kitakami with 4, you're not wrong. So yeah, we've entered Johto, which is great. Predominantly, I don't think anyone from Johto stands out as being from not around here. Yeah, I think everyone in Johto is also, yeah, from the area. But as, like, again, you know, don't be afraid to be like, twins! Wait, actually, you're wrong! Until that happens, maybe we come for you, not the random thing you end up doing on stream. It's not random. This is fun. It just looks random. I like doing things like this. Don't you all like doing things like this? Making graphics and Excel spreadsheets? I think that shit's fun. And I like doing those streams, especially with you guys, because I like gaming streams plenty, as well, but the ones where I get to, like, engage with you guys and do creative stuff, I think those are my favorites. Speaking of video games, though, oh my gosh, I saw that coming out this year at some point is a Madoka Magica game, and it's a Honkai Star Rail clone. So it looks really good from what I've seen so far. And I'm so into that idea because Honkai Star Rail has such a fun gameplay that it's like it being a gacha's like, oh, I didn't get the person I wanted. Oh well, what a shame, it's still really fun to play. So, and with Madoka Magica, there's not gonna be any husbandos for me to be worried about, like, missing anyway. And so it's just getting cool magical girls and playing a fun video game, so I hope that turns out good. I really am. I'm so excited for Madoka Star Rail. I'm gonna have to make sure I have enough space on my PC by the time that rolls around. Whenever that is. Doesn't Jasmine randomly appear in Diamond? She must be in Sinnoh then. Maybe she just visits Sinnoh? Jasmine? She does show up there though, doesn't she? I guess, you know what, fuck it. Sure, we'll put Jasmine in Sinnoh. Because we can. No one can stop us. Let me fuse all these layers together really quick. And then, funnily enough, she's also next, which is fun. Does anyone else think that Hassel is related to Claire? Claire and Lance? Being part of their, like, dragon family? I do. I think that. Which is pretty cool. Jasmine shows up to hint Heart Gold Soul Silver. Is that what happens? Did that happen before Heart Gold and Soul Silver? Oh shit, I put her in the wrong location. Hang on, I was so distracted thinking about the Madoka Maguka game. Come here, Jasmine. We'll stick you in Sinnoh. I'll put Price right there. I was joking, Lamau, but I don't mind. See, I don't mind either. Because honestly, that's the thing. With, like I said, with these top 4, and it's why I've kind of allocated like this as well. Unova and Alola. So, Unova is America-based, and Alola is Hawaii. And Hawaii is, technically, it's still America, but, you know, it's got its own really unique culture, which is why I think it's clear that we can separate them, but it's why I've kind of slotted them next to each other. Same with Kalos, Paldea, and Galar, being France, Spain, and Britain. England, UK. They're all near each other geographically, so that's kind of how I went about organizing this, in case you wanted to know. She gives waterfall as well. Oh, she would. Never thought of it, but if Leon isn't related to Iris, so help me. I know, I saw fan art recently of them, and I was like, oh yeah, they're 100% related. Just like how, there's that one dragon girl from the, Emerald DLC. She's got a name, like Zinnia or some shit. And I think she's absolutely related to Drasna, the dragon woman in Kalos. Which means we might actually scoot Drasna somewhere else. Also, I'm putting her in Kanto because... No, we're not. We're just gonna put Lance in Johto because they're related. The Dragon Den bullshit that, you know, Claire runs away to, implies that that is kind of their home base. So I'll be putting Lance into Johto. Can't wait for Pokemon Florida and California. Is this the next, GTA gonna be in Florida, actually? Isn't that super cool? It's such a good idea. Can totally see Leon, Hop, and Iris being siblings. Leon and Hop are siblings. Or do you mean just plus Iris? But yeah, for sure, with that purple hair, so good. Okay, this is where we're starting, things are going to start getting a little bit more interesting. We're entering Hoenn now. And this is where, I don't know, it feels like we're wandering a little bit more in terms of where people can be from. I don't think I could confidently say I think any of the Hoenn folks are from not around here. Maybe Brawley? But I don't know, you guys are gonna have to help me. Be helpful little children. This is going by much quicker. For some reason I was like, maybe we'll get to Hoenn today. As if it wasn't just gonna be me copying and pasting PNGs. Norman might be, since he moved from somewhere else to be with him. Oh! Well, I think... Yeah, I think that's a good point with Norman. Where do we all think Norman might be from then? Do we think it's another one of the Japan flavored regions, or isn't it implied that RSC protagonist is from Johto? Is it? That's great. I love that. Then we will put Norman into Johto. It was either said in a news broadcast, in-game, or from the manga. Fuck yes. That's so fun. We'll get to Norman in a little bit. I'm going chronologically. Just but that's swell. That's swell and Superfly. I didn't read much when I played through Emerald. I gotta be honest. Adios, overhype and have fun doing what you do, drinking your vegetables and eating your water and things. Copy and paste. Next up is Flannery. I really like Flannery. You know what I ought to do? I gotta make the next ranking gym leader designs. I keep thinking about that, but then I keep... Project Sekai operates a lot of, like, it occupies a lot of my brain space. But yeah, I should do that, because Kalos is next anyway, and Kalos is the big hotness right now, with the new Legends game on the horizon. We got Norman, slapping him into Johto, put him right there. Been itching for the next ranking, not even gonna lie, Kalos has some cool designs. Okay, I'm gonna spoil it a little bit. I'm not in love with the Kalos designs. They're alright, you know, but it's gotta go through Kalos so I can get to the infinitely better, Alola on the other side. if I gotta be real. They're not terrible. I just feel like a lot of them will end up being me saying, this one's boring, this one's boring, this one's boring. Fair lol. Flannery's definitely Kabu's granddaughter. I think, on a technicality, Flannery might be... it's hard. How does time work in Pokemon? Are all the regions happening at the same time? No one really ages. Because you'd think with Flannery... Flannery would be quite old now. Time doesn't work. You're not even wrong. Do we think Kabu might be from, like, Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, or Sinnoh? I know I said we're not working with stereotypes, but he's very Japanese man-coded. Same with Larry. So I think they're, especially once we get outside of the first 3 regions, we can actually start looking to ethnicities a little bit more as they started working with different ethnicities a little bit more as well. Save. Great. The only 2 who are red and blue. Oh, who age? It's the core word in the sentence. You're not even wrong. They do age. Isn't there a whole multiverse shtick going on too? Yeah. Yeah, that is... Yeah. There is a multiverse, which complicates things. And I don't think any Pokemon fan really wants to take the time to unravel that. I don't think any of them are like, let's figure out this timeline. Because I think I've seen one, like, big-ass JPEG of it all, and then I was like, fuck. There's like 3 timelines. We got our first really interesting one. We got one we have to really discuss. It's Juan, who was the 8th gym leader for Hoenn in Emerald. And there's a reason. The reason why Juan is one we have to discuss is because in the American dub of the anime, he's French, which would put him in Kalos. But I believe in other languages, he's Spanish, which would put him in Paldea. So, it's the question of where do we think he goes? I'm actually going to do research for this one. Let me scroll down to his trivia. Reading, hang on. In the anime, his Goldie knows water gun, don't care. Okay. Juan is similar to Fantina in that both uses phrases from different foreign languages depending on the version. Juan uses English phrases in the original Japanese version, Spanish phrases in the Viz Media's English translation, and French phrases in the Chuangyi's English translation of Adventures. Fascinating. Also, they're both coordinators. So, I think since we are English speaking, I think we're going to put him into Paldea. Because he speaks Spanish in our version. Someone else would put him somewhere else. But that's great. That's great, that's great. Hooray, that's fun. Reasons like that are why I wanted to do this. Next up, we're entering a little bit of a boring spell again, with Sinnoh. Sinnoh has Fantina, who, like how we just discussed, she is French. She speaks French in the anime. But other than her, maybe Wagner. For some reason, Wagner gives me Johto vibes. But other than that, there's no good reason to assume anyone is from a different place, unless you all know any better. I could see Juan being from Cascarafa. Which one was that one again? Oh, yes, I agree with Kofu, the very white and blue town right next to the desert. And it's based off of a real location, which is pretty cool. And it's the biggest bummeroni though is that that since it's right next to the desert in game, then there's always a sandstorm, and it's like, no. Bertha, but that's Elite Four. Where's Bertha from? Oh, that's right. She's absolutely from Kanto, because she is at least related to Agatha. Or is Agatha actually from Sinnoh? Because in Arceus Legends, we have their ancestor who shows up with the Coin sisters or whatever, the Misfortune sisters. And they're all hanging out in Sinnoh. And I think they're just from there. Wagner's ancestor is the head of the Ginkgo Guild in Legends Arceus. Oh, were they based on Wagner or were they based on... Am I thinking of the Volo guy? So I think it's probably native Sinnoh. I will accept that answer though. Oh, I remember. Yeah, it was just like an NPC. Yeah. So Arceus Legends is gonna give us a lot of good info as well. Unfortunately, it's some of them are like not from around here. Like, you know, the whole idea is that people were moving to the area. So it's like we kind of got to think about it, but good shit. Real good shit. Arceus Legends makes Sinnoh a lot more interesting, I gotta say. But the ancestor is also from Kanto. Could have moved back. We'll have to decide that then. Do we think that makes him from Sinnoh or from Kanto? That was also the foundation of Sinnoh. Charm, Bertha, and Agatha's ancestor, is originally from Kanto, but moved to Sinnoh with the Galaxy team. So now we have to break down the idea. So, because that was Legends Arceus is the origin of Sinnoh. So are we counting that as being quote-unquote from Sinnoh? Because then otherwise, is anyone from Sinnoh? Kind of a thing. I think we're gonna roll with the idea if they were there for the introduction of the land, then that makes, and assuming that no one moved away, then that makes them quote-unquote from there. I believe. The kid who could be Clay's ancestor, it's true. He's also there. We'll get to Clay. And also Karen. Karen's ancestor also was in it wasn't called Sinnoh back then. They had a different cute little name for it. But, yeah, from the Johto Elite Four. Which is real flippin' neato. We've made it to Fantina. Exciting, our first little spot into Kalos. Also, she's tiny for some reason. Hooray. Hisui, that is what it was called. If my parents are Italian, but I'm born in France, am I French or Italian? See, it's one of those questions, isn't it? Brings in the question, does the graph about the gym leaders being native to the region, including ancestors, or is it their birth town? Oh, that is a great, that's a good question to posit. It's a great question to posit. Maybe we go with birth. Where were they born? Just to help make things slightly easier on us. Because, like, you know, as an American, you trace my ancestry back to England. I'm not English. I wouldn't call myself English. So, I was born here and this is the only place I know. So I think you're onto something. And this is less their legacy of ancestry and more where were they born. I think you got it. You're in the right track. I think also for the most part, we'll have to assume most families just didn't wander too far, just to make things a little bit easier on ourselves. but good thinking. Good thinking, you. With how resentful Charm seems to be towards the Galaxy team, I wouldn't be surprised if she moved back to Kanto after the events of the game. Yeah, Agatha and Bertha are going to be... They're definitely Kanto or Sinnoh. It's just a matter of figuring out which one specifically they were born in. Charm, you're not wrong. She did seem pretty resentful towards the Galaxy team. And on a more meta level, they both scream Kanto design. You know, and that's kind of why Wagner was in my head for being like, he feels Johto coded. And it's just because a lot of the designs in the older games have these, like, I'm gonna describe it as just spiky hair bullshit. Just the hair, what's it? It's just spiky bullshit. And they both feel a lot more like that versus by the time we get to Sinnoh, we still got a lot of spiky hair bullshit, but things start looking a lot more diverse. Presumably my ancestors are from Honduras, neato, but I was born in the US, so what am I then? Exactly. So, yeah. That's great. We got it. We got it figured out. It's also easy to say, well, Legends Arceus is an alternate timeline, because it very well may be. It very well may be! We'll have to wait until they actually fucking address Ingo and Emmett, the train conductors, or subway conductors. The twins who got separated. One of them just also ended up going to the past somehow. And I really thought that that was gonna end up coming back around. I thought he was gonna be what took us back home. Like, oh, get in Emmett's special train back to the future. And no, that didn't happen. It just, and he's just also stuck there. For... presumably the rest of time. Things are getting interesting now, because we're entering Unova. Unova is based off of America, which is fun. And this is when we really start to get to see a lot more kind of regional diversity start to crop up. This is also where Clay is, so we'll have to make sure we put Clay into... Sinnoh. Pokemon No Way Home. And Looker isn't in Gen 3 remakes. It's true. It's true. Remember when people thought Hisui was a world where Cyrus succeeded and reset the world? Good times. You know, it's not like... It's not an outstanding... like, assumption to make. Like, I can see how people came to that conclusion. I guess, here's a question I ought to posit about Chili, Silent, and Cress. Are they, I know they're fans of the one chef guy, Cybald, in Kalos. Do you think that makes them from Kalos, or just a couple of American boys who really like Pokemon Gordon Ramsay? Outside of that, I see no reason to assume otherwise. This is also where we get a fucking shit million heads to copy and paste. Save. I think they're just American fanboys. I think you're right. Excellent, excellent. Lenora. I fucking love Lenora's design. It's specifically her color palette. I love this, like, shade of green that she's got with her hair and pants. She looks so fucking cool. I'll never be as cool as her. And then we also got Berg. Berg the bug boy. Not French, but he feels French. Lenora's goated, she really is. Alessa. Alessa is another one that feels French, but is not French. And I think I just associate the arts with France. Which one do you guys like better? Do you like her first design or her second design better? With the, do you like the one with the yellow hair or the black hair? Lenora has the vibe of a fun aunt. She really does. Like, the one who's like, can we go hang out with Auntie Lenora? Because you know she's gonna get you ice cream and, like, take you to the library. They really nailed it right out of the gate with their first black character. Would you say she's their first black character? I guess technically, yeah. Because, you know, Brock's got darker skin, but I'd be hard-pressed to call him black. And Brawley's tan didn't show up until the remakes. Don't worry, I'm gonna move him. Just wanted to make him a little bit bigger. Oh, so do we think Clint... That's not his name. Do we think Clay is from Sinnoh? Or do we think he's from Unova? What do you guys think? Because we've established that his ancestor was in Sinnoh. Do we think he lived there for a while, or do we think he was born and raised in Unova? They're both serving, but I like black and white one, Alessa a little bit more. I gotta agree. Prefer the first design, but I'll be honest, I don't really care about either. The first one was just so iconic. I think I'm gonna keep Clay and Sinnoh for right now. If we decide to change our minds about that, then we can change our minds about that. He's apparently meant to fulfill the trope of a Japanese businessman making it big in the US. Fascinating. Fascinating. What's most fascinating is because Clint is... That's not his fucking name. Clay is the most American thing in Unova. With his cowboy getup and it's like an oil tycoon. Like, if I think, okay, so that one's the America one, and really you can only tell because there are some alien Pokemon and Clay. So I think he's doing a great job. That's my brother, Clint. Is there not a Clint in Pokemon? Why do I keep pulling that name? What other things have I been... Oh, you know what? Clint is a character... I think that's from Stardew Valley. Am I doing that? We've got another one worth looking at. Worth considering. Which is... Bryson? Is that your name? I can never remember. Yeah, Bryson. Because he is a ninja. So do we think he's an American ninja warrior, or do we think he is pulling from his, like, culture and being a cool ninja guy living in Unova? What do you guys think? We can't, I mean, I don't know. Is it okay to say all ninjas come from Japan? Is that... I don't know, is that stereotyping? Or is that, like, technically the truth kind of a thing? Time for Game Freak to rename him Clint. I'm gonna get a sip of my water. Well, you're all tip-a-typing. Oh. Or he's an actor appropriating a culture? I don't know if he is. Because that's not him playing a character. And when he's playing like Bryson, man, he wears a totally different outfit. So... Bryson's debut movie in Pokemon Adventures is a reference to Tatake Dragon, which seems to be a Japanese movie. Yeah, I opened up the Wikipedia page and it was all in hiragana. He's probably meant to be like celebrities like Jackie Chan. I think you're right. Where do we think he's from then? Like, which region? Do we want to just go a Kanto? Put him with our other shinobis of Janine and Koga? Or do we think he reads somewhere else? You know, with him being ice type, I think that he feels more Sinnoh-y, because isn't the region Sinnoh's based off of, like, really cold? To be fair, I don't know shit about people. Only the fun animals. Don't know where he's from, but he's hot. I'm gonna put him in Sinnoh. I think that feels right. And we'll just leave him there until someone says something smart enough to prove me otherwise. Next up, this one's pretty easy. Drayden feels so American somehow. Maybe it's the white hair combed over like that. Boink. Make him bigger. It does say he trains in the mountains, so Sinnoh feels right for Bryson, I suppose. It's the best we got, you know, as opposed to just deciding on one. Like, we gave reasons for it, at least, so. And reasons other than just, this is where the other ninjas are, so we'll put him with the other ninjas. Great. Swell. Super. Giving me the vibe that his parents are from Sinnoh and moved to Unova and had Bryson. You know, I feel like you're probably right. We'll roll with Sinnoh. I think it makes him more visually exciting that way. Oh, that's right, Sharon. Sharon exists. Forgot about Black and White too. Sharon's pretty easily from Unova. That's why there are so many. That's right. I was like, how come there are so many gym leaders in this region? Oh, it's because they had 2 whole ass games. Roxy's so fucking good. Her design, oh my gosh. I can't believe she was trapped in the 2nd game. In Black and White 2. A design so peak that it's like, this wasn't... You didn't start the game with this? Marlin, less peak, but, you know, whatever. Wahoo! I've made it through the Unova section. Or at least the Unova games. What do we got left? We got Kalos. Oh, I'll have to open up a different, basically web page to get the, trial captains. Yeah, because currently we got Kalos, Galar, and Paldea, but that's because the trial captains aren't here. I'll have to go somewhere else to get them. Cool. So what we'll do is we'll get, the Kalos gym leaders, the Galar ones, and the Paldea ones. And then next time we can come back and get the trial captains and the Elite Four members as well. We'll be able to kind of crunk through all that a lot quicker. Because there's only 4 members of the Elite Four. Boink. Next up is Viola. I think Masters EX is exciting because it gives the characters voices that they otherwise don't have. And that includes giving them accents, especially as of late. For example, like, you know, Pierce has his British accent, but also, I'm not sure if Penny's in the game, but Penny is from Galar. So she, I'm pretty sure, also gets a British accent. Oh, dumb. Okay, sorry, I'm looking at Karina, and her title, because, you know, they all have titles, like, you know, how Surge is the Lightning Lieutenant, and, I'm pretty sure Misty's is the Tomboy Mermaid, you know? Karina's here is just, like, the Evolution Fighter, and it's like, yeah, that's fucking everybody. Everyone uses evolution, you're not special. And I think it's supposed to mean, like, mega evolution, because her, like, grandpa is, you know, the guy who's in charge of the mega evolution bullshit or whatever. But, boy, I'm excited for the Kalos Legends, so I can care about this region. Boink. Here comes Clement, who is demonstrably from here. But we've got, coming up is we've got next Valerie, who is super fun. Valerie is explicitly stated to be from Johto. They talk about how she moved to Kalos from Johto, which makes sense why she's got her big kimono outfit. And quite the fan theory, and I absolutely subscribe to this, is that she is Bill's sister. Bill is the guy who originally gives you an Eevee, in Gold and Silver. And he's got like an offhanded line about how his sister has like weird, like either poor eyesight or something. She's got weird eyes to some degree. And Valerie has weird eyes. She's got these weird buggy-like eyes. And so a bunch of people just have the theory that that's Bill's sister. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, yes it is. Can't wait to fight Mega Sharpedo in the definitely not. Next up is an interesting one. We've got, Olympia. And the reason why Olympia is interesting, one, I've got the pet theory that she's related to Tulip from Galar. No, from Paldea. I have, nothing to nothing to support that pet theory though, other than their hair kind of looks the same. But the reason why she's really, really interesting is because I feel like Bulbapedia is really missing the mark in terms of that's who Tulip reminded me of. In terms of her in general. If you look somewhere, maybe it wasn't on Bulbapedia, but I saw somewhere that there was, people were like, she might be based off of Romani stereotypes, because she's got dark skin and does magic. And I'm like, bitch, what? Excuse, what? And I can't see that anywhere on Bulbapedia anymore. Admittedly, it's not like I was reading very thoroughly just now, but I didn't see that in her trivia anymore. So perhaps they realized that that was completely baseless. And just like, we could just have a dark-skinned lady who does psychic stuff, maybe, without it being a thing. But yeah. That was always something I was like, what are you doing? What do you mean? But yeah, I think she's related to Tulip. 100%. France and Spain are close by IRL, so yeah, but also I doubt Pokemon would be like, let's put a racist stereotype in our game. Just for shits and giggles, you know? Like, maybe if they accidentally... Like, but I see no reason to assume, oh, she does magic. She speaks in haiku. She has any skin tone other than white, a stereotype. An offensive stereotype. That Romani are magicians, are Wiccans, and it's like, what? Have a slightly, just a tiny bit more faith in the Pokemon Company. Just a little bit, maybe. We've reached Galar. Goddamn, other than Kabu, I don't think anyone stands out as particularly, where'd you go? There you are. Not British. What's this? Kind of like how people complain about one of the characters in Hazbin Hotel being a stereotype Jewish, I think, because their nose shape. Yeah, so I wouldn't know anything about that, and I can recognize being like, this is a stereotype, but, and like calling out negative stereotypes, but also, I feel like if you see a character with a big nose and immediately jump to, they are Jewish, and that's offensive. But if there are no other, like, Jewish signifiers, then it's like, you're the one who decided that. You're the one who saw a big nose and said, oh, they must be Jewish then. But also, the internet loves being outraged. So, that's not gonna stop anytime soon. We got Kabu coming in, and I'm tickled by one of you saying that that's gotta be Flannery's grandpa. And so that's canon now. And I'm gonna put him into Owen. Because, fuck yeah. Excellent. I love Kabu. Does anyone think any other members of Galar stand out as from anywhere else? Because I don't really think so. My brain is telling me Opal, but I think she just traveled. I think she used to just explore, but I don't think that means she's not from here, kind of a thing. Have you all seen the artwork of young Opal? That's a different character. I actually had drawn fan art once of Opal, Agatha, Bertha, and maybe a fourth old woman, but I can't remember. But like, them all, you know, just being, when they were younger, being, you know, fun little gossips. My idea was that they were, riffing on Agatha for clearly having a crush on Oak, kind of a thing. But, young Opal smash. They really did lock in on the Britishisms. But yeah, I never finished that fan art. But then I saw the official version of young Opal, and I was like, no, it's not. No, that is not. Next up is Bede. Bede is easy. He's obviously from here. I don't think any of the rivals are outright stated to be not from the region they're in. But I guess don't quote me on that. Because I am unconfident in all things. Young Opal is straight up a Professor Layton character. She really is, and as someone who I've not played a single second of Professor Layton, that is still a true sentence. Ranking the Galar gym leaders will be so difficult because a whole, like, thing that I rank them all on is how clear is their typing, and they all wear uniforms, so it's like they technically get full marks for that, but it's like, well, how do I accommodate that then? Do I just get rid of that element in my ranking, or do I supplement it with something else? Because they all, like, basically told you need to dress in a way that the children can tell what type you use. You are late, Messiah. That's alright. I don't know how much help you'd be in Pokemon lore, but we appreciate your company. No, unless you count that Hoenn Rivals is from different regions, since you dad swap. That's, you know, that's fair. How well do the hair and accessories convey it? I can take a look at kind of customization. However, I feel like that would play more a role in, like, how much their personality is playing into it. I've got some time until I get to Galar, so I get to ruminate on it for a little bit. I'm not helpful, but I can be funny sometimes. And last but not least is Raihan. Fucking love Raihan. He's also demonstrably Allison's favorite from the region, which it makes sense. Great, we got a lot of Galar kids. Some dude, you have to look like Tinkerbell since you use grass types only. Me, a punk who loves Bulbasaur. Why? Alrighty, and now for the last little section we're doing today, we've got the Paldea leaders. And again, I don't think too many of them wander outside of the region. Larry is another one who I'm gonna say probably wanders to like one of the Japanese flavored ones, because he's clearly, you know, a Japanese businessman. Like, that is the archetype that they went into with him. So yeah. But other than Larry, I don't know about anyone else. I guess if we wanna supplement our pet theory of Tulip and Olympia being related, we could stick them together, but we'd have to, I think, maybe find more things to support that theory than just me going, I think that. Larry's normal type Ace is Staraptor, so I've always read him as Sinnoh. Why? Oh, because Staraptor's from Sinnoh. Okay, I can dig that. I can absolutely get behind that. Got a lot of Sinnoh people, which is cool. Kofu has to be the weakest gym leader in terms of, like, being interesting. In terms of personality. Which is a shame, because they give him a lot of personality, but it's just like, I don't know, it kind of feels like nothing we haven't seen before. Jolly, slightly older guy. He's basically just Water Watson, you know? Can't find anything on Tulip. Oh, I'm not surprised. I think I am the first person to say the words out loud. I think Tulip and Olympia are related. Rhyme is so fucking cool too. She's another good example of just do whatever the fuck you want with hair. Allison, if you are starting to make food, I want to order food. Yes. So don't worry about cooking. Do you see? They're the same person! Tulip and Olympia, they're absolutely related. But we don't have anything to back that up. So we will ignore it for right now. Kofu and Triton from Xenoblade 3 are the same person in my mind. I know shit about Xenoblade. You could have said Kofu and Blamblegam from Xenoblade, and I would have been like, of course, everyone's favorite character, Blamblegam. Alrighty, and that's all of them for today. Jolly Sailor Dude. Well, that does make sense with a name like Triton. Excellent. Yeah, that's gonna be it. It is dinner time. My arm hurts from having to reach over my pop filter. Fatima is queen, and she was the one who convinced me to do Pokemon contest. No, really, it was really Aura's games, honestly. But still want Pokemon to come back. I agree. I agree. I liked contests. But yes, the hunger has set in. So, I think I've had fun. Even if most of it is just put the gym leader where in the region you fight them. I'm still having a grand old time. So yeah, I'll see you all on the flip side. Drink your vegetables, eat your water, all that jazz. And goodbye!